So we're gonna pull this down and line this up. So I had to lift it from over here a little bit so that we could get this down further. So it's not quite down as far as I would like it to be. I'm gonna lift it a little bit more. Pull this down so that that lines up. Or it's a little past. Which this side lined up better than the other side actually. So, and I'm gonna spray a little bit of alcohol up in these fingers. I don't know if you can see them in that view, but just so I can lay that corner down first. Okay, so I got that, squeegee out this. Now we're up a little bit high here still, so I'm gonna pull that down. Because when you look, see how it's pulling from like over there and over here? We wanna lay this first so that we can use all that excess slack here. Because if we lay all this down, we don't have anywhere for the extra material to come from if we've already squeegeed that down. So we wanna lay this down first, nice and tight along that edge, before we get crazy and squeegee the rest down. So always try to do this edge first. Okay, so I'm a little bit wobbly right here. I'll show you in a second here, which I'm just gonna cut off because it's a little bit long in the one spot, but I don't want it to look wobbly on that bottom edge because that's ugly. Nobody wants a wiggly edge when they're paying $1,000 for their paint protection. So now next thing is we're gonna do this. So again, we're gonna spray alcohol in that little area. Again, I push it out with one hand and then squeegee it out to the one side from the top of the mountain into the crest out. And then I really re-squeegee that entire area. See, as I have a bubble right here. I'm gonna try and bring some water in there and get that out. There we go. And push all the excess water and everything that you may have in there out. And really squeegee the mountains down. Mountains as in these lips. Anywhere where there's a hump. So now we want to come to the middle, which is a little bit funner. See, so we have this big groove here. We also have one over here, but it's going to touch this badge. So we're gonna have to trim that as we're doing it. First things first, I just want to make sure I don't have any water bubbles along this edge. So I want to get these out first before it completely dries. Which I think I'm good. This one just keeps pooling from up here, which is fine. But we don't want to squeegee this down yet on either side because we want that excess, again, to come from somewhere, and we need it to come from the sides. So if when we push in here, see how it's pulling over here? See that? It's pulling right here. That's where that excess is going to come from. So I'm just going to grab a knife. Before we start, because I want to be able to cut around that badge quickly. I don't know where these are. So I'm going to spray alcohol there. And here. Let that sit in there for a second. So next thing, again, I'm gonna push my hand in that valley, but now I'm gonna have to try and cut that. So now spray a little bit of soap on the top, just so my squeegee slides. So I want to remember you're coming from down here, you're going up above. So otherwise you're just gonna have water that's pooled here. And then I'm gonna come down from the valley and out, whichever way is easier. I feel like it's easier that way right now. It's not gonna totally lay down because I didn't cut that fully yet around that badge. So we're gonna have water that keeps cooling in there. I'm gonna pull that down around so I can push it that way for now. And I really want to make sure I get all of that water out of that valley. So I might not be able to get that all down yet until I trim the rest of that badge. So what I did was I trimmed on the bottom side of the badge, and then across the front, and then that way. Now I'm gonna lay this down. But I didn't trim it all the way. See how we have a lot of water pooling right here? So you can see that. So that's why you wanna come from the bottom and push up and out with all that water. Otherwise, it's just gonna pool on that hair in here. So I'm gonna lift this up and get that out, whatever that is. Push that back out. So anytime you see something in your film, make sure you pick it up right away and get it out right away. Don't leave it until the last, because you won't get it out. So I'm just gonna re-squeegee this whole area, make sure I don't have any water trapped. Had a little one, I guess.